whoever followed the last few years in Europe and in the world has come to the realization that we are facing a major crisis after the other. And so far, Europe dealt with this crisis. It dealt with the crisis of COVID, with the economic consequences of COVID through the Resilience and Recovery Fund, and in a sense have tackled also in unanimity Russia's aggression and invasion in Ukraine by putting together almost immediately 8 packages of sanctions, putting together a no-fly zone over Europe, providing arms and support to Ukraine, and still a greater commitment for the reconstruction for Ukraine. What we haven't dealt with is something that lies behind the geopolitical tension. This is the energy crisis. And the energy crisis is actually the elephant in the room. Because from the one side, we have committed a lot of money to diversify our energy production into becoming more and more greener, and to that end, the Resilience and Recovery Fund has helped a lot. On the other hand, for many years, we were relying on Russia for energy resources, and still we haven't come to an understanding that we need to diversify all the ways and the providers of our fossil fuels. We are optimistic, extremely I would say, to say that by 2050 we are going to eradicate all the fossil fuels from our energy mix. And this is very optimistic to my end. But till 2050, there are still ahead of us almost 30 years that we have to work hard, and we shouldn't lose our competitiveness. Because what is going to be very difficult for Europe is if Europe becomes irrelevant in world affairs and economic affairs. And this would be a great danger. So we have to invest on how to find the new energy resources, and the Mediterranean basin should be one of the areas that we should look for that. There we have immense findings in Israel, in Egypt, in Cyprus. We are now start to explore we explore the western part of Greece for energy resources. And what we shouldn't do also as a mistake is also not to rely only on one route where we can provide our energy resources. And I'm meaning exactly, and speaking about Turkey. Turkey that is blocking Finland and Sweden getting into NATO, is the only country that actually still negotiating in a bizarre way of the of an eastern market. You know, what you give me in order, give me some terrorists to let you in, and all this, which have nothing to do with a common defense. And on the other side, we shouldn't do the same mistake that we did with Russia, that we actually put all our energy eggs in one basket. So I think that the biggest challenge for us is that. It's also not only on the geostrategical level, but also on the political level, because if we don't show determination to provide for our consumers and voters and citizens cheap energy in the immediate future, then this is going to backfire to our commitment, in which we don't want to deviate, which is to support Ukraine and the independence of Ukraine, and of course the reconstruction of Ukraine after this awful war stops. And of course, Ukraine is living back at its internationally recognized borders, which is actually what we have already committed to. Well, thank you.